I know so many people love this book, but I just didn't. Hey guys, welcome to my first book unhaul in a long time, and I have a lot of books here. For the longest time I didn't really like to share unhauls, and I kind of still don't, but I have found that as someone that likes to watch BookTube, I like to see what books people are getting rid of, because sometimes they can say something in their review, or after time their thoughts change on a book, or there's a variety of different reasons. But I like to see what books other people think are not worth their time. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to agree with their thoughts, but it can be interesting. So I have a spread of books here beside me today that we are going to unhaul, and two of them are series that I've decided to DNF. I've been wanting to do a series video. I've been talking about this, I think I started talking about it like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, sharing all the series that I'm currently in the middle of, finished, all that. Today I'm going to talk about two series that I'm quitting and unhauling those books. So let's dive into these. Okay, so apparently I'm going to be not continuing on with two different mystery series that I've started, two of which I really enjoyed at the beginning, but as I've been on BookTube, and not that it has anything to do with BookTube, but the longer I've been on here, the more I feel like I realize what kind of books I actually enjoy. So the one series I'm going to be quitting is the No. 1 Ladies Detective Agency series. Now, I am keeping the very first book in the series. I still have it on my shelf. That one is just called the No. 1 Ladies Detective Agency, I believe. But I've decided to stop the series. I enjoyed the first book, and I've read one or two more since then, and it just kind of feels a little bit meh. So I'm going to keep the first book, but then pass on the other ones that I have, which are just random ones. I've got Tears of the Giraffe, Morality for Beautiful Girls, the Kalahari Typing School for Men, Blue Shoes and Happiness, The Miracle at Speedy Motors, and The Good Husband of Zebra Drive. I've read a couple of these, some of them I haven't. I'm okay with that. I often get asked what I do with books that I decide I'm no longer reading, and for the most part I either exchange them in little free libraries or just donate them to the thrift store. Or if I have a specific person in mind for some books, like I gave a couple to my mother-in-law at Christmas time that were more on like the Christian historical fiction genre that weren't interesting to me, but I think she would really enjoy, and so every now and then I do that as well. Okay, so that was one series, and then the other series is the Flavia Deluche series. So the first one in the series is The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. I feel like this was the first book that really introduced me to mysteries outside of like Nancy Drew. This is what made me realize I like mysteries. This is supposed to be kind of like a Sherlock knockoff, where we follow a 11-year-old girl who enjoys chemistry, and I've always struggled with like the time period that this is set, which I'm not even sure when it is. It feels a little off to me, and just her as an 11-year-old, it doesn't work. It's like it's middle grade but not middle grade. So I'm getting rid of The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag, As Chimney Sweepers Come to Dust, Speaking from Among the Bones, and this reminds me, there's another one. It's on my shelf. This one was on my TBR shelf. This is A Red Herring Without Mustard. So it feels good to get those series gone, and those were taking up space on my Agatha Christie shelf, which has been kind of like moving them over, so that's good. So those are, yeah, the two series that I started years ago. I don't even know if I read any books from those series last year that I'm just DNFing. Now, these two books are from a series. They're numbers 20 something in a series, and I've just decided I'm going to get rid of these. These are MC Beaton's, it's an Agatha Raisin series, Beating About the Bush and The Dead Ringer. A friend recommended the Hamish Macbeth series to me by the same author, and so then I thought I would grab these books as well. And spoiler for my February wrap-up, but I really didn't like the first book in the Hamish Macbeth series, and while I may try this particular series at some point, their number is like 22, 23. It's gonna be forever till I get there, so may as well pass these on to someone that could actually read them, and then I will maybe try getting the first book from the library. Although, judging from my experience with Hamish Macbeth, I might just bypass that author. Okay, there is some variety in these books. This particular stack here is very random. Okay, I've got Howell's Moving Castle. I know so many people love this book, but I just didn't. And I thought I would keep it and maybe my daughter would love it. Turns out she doesn't either. And my son is even less into fantasy, so I feel like we can get rid of this book. It's a middle grade fantasy story. I don't know, I didn't get it. I can't even really tell you what it's about because I just found it weird. Okay, then I've got The Poetry of Jane Austen. I bought this years ago at a library sale, and I read a number of these poems in the last few months, and I just didn't like her poetry, which is interesting. I tried this before. I've tried reading some of her books recently, and I've been enjoying some of her books, but not these poems. I think one of the things I didn't like, if I remember correctly, was a lot of these were written to specific people for specific events, and it just felt very unrelatable. So that can go. Okay, this book was pretty much my first Little Free Library experience. I went to a Little Free Library and didn't find any books that I liked, and so I picked this one, and I've never tried it, but it's Gladys Mitchell, Spotted Hemlock, College Pranks Turned to Deadly Deeds. And like the cover of this, I didn't really look at the cover when I grabbed it, but yeah, I'm just gonna not read this one. That's gonna go. Then, because I'm getting rid of the Flavia Deluche series by Alexander McCall Smith, I had two books in another. This is an Isabel Dalhousie series. I have The Charming Quirks of Others and The Careful Use of Compliments. I may try this series out at some point, but these are books number 7 and unknown number. Seriously, they should put them on the spine. Like, they're in the same series. This one has it on the spine and this one doesn't. Maybe I'll try the series, but I don't need to keep books that are way out in the series for no reason. I think this was another Little Free Library thing. It's Changeling. Why did I even pick this up? I read the other Bullion Girl and wasn't a huge fan. Oh, the book is just putting the dust jacket upside down. That was confusing. It's like all the words are upside down. So this one is supposed to be set in like 1453, and I'm just honestly just not interested, so that's gotta go. Then this next pile, these are all books that I got rid of in my judging a book by its first paragraph, so I've got a whole video on that, so I'm just gonna tell you the titles. Never Cry Wolf by Farley Mowat, Both of Me, Orchid House, The Huntress, Blessing, and Heart of the West. Heart of the West. I know some people enjoyed the judging the book by the first paragraph, and some people were a little angry at me that I didn't give them more of a chance, but honestly these were books I wasn't really that interested in to begin with, so that was all the chance I was willing to give those particular books. I will not judge every book by the first paragraph. Okay, and then we've got another stack here. These are books that I have either DNF'd or read in the last couple months and just decided they're not worth keeping. The first one is Ruth Ware in a Dark, Dark Wood. I started this one and then I just like read the end or something, or I read a synopsis online. I feel like Ruth Ware is pretty much like a 3-star author to me. I'm willing to get her books from Little Free Libraries and give them a try. I'm not willing to buy her books. This one is Vanishing Girls by Lisa Reagan. This is the middle of a series. I started reading it and there was like instant like content in there that I didn't want to read. It's supposed to be a thriller, mystery thriller. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. Then there was Laura Marshall, Friend Request. Same thing, this was supposed to be a thriller as well. Content in there that I didn't care to read about. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I started this one in my 24-hour reading vlog that I did, and it just didn't catch my attention. So it's been like on par with V.E. Schwab books, which I feel like just aren't for me. Then we've got The Vanished Bride by Bella Ellis. I am still going to try to read the second book in this series because I bought it. But I wasn't a fan of this one. I read it in January, so I talked about it more in my reading wrap-up, but it's supposed to be the Bronte sisters as detectives, and I don't know, it was so strongly pushing those feminist vibes that I was just getting really sick of it. Then we've got Night Books, another one, my books are falling over, another one that I read during that 24-hour reading vlog. Yeah, this one was just too creepy for a middle grade book in my opinion. And then the last one on this particular stack is Outbreak by Davis Bunn. I read this one in the beginning of January, and it was okay. It was like a 3-ish star book to me. It's a Christian suspense pandemic book, but a little bit too political for me, so I don't care to keep it on my shelves. And then, okay, there's only one more book here, and this is Sister Eve, Private Eye, a Divine Private Detective Agency mystery. I got this one in a Christian book mystery box a while ago and was going to give it a chance, but then Shalise from And Read Another Chapter told me a little bit about the book, and from what she told me, I'm not interested at all, so then why keep it? So this will help my clean out of my TBR shelf, which, like, I'm looking at it here, it's still large. I'm going to be doing a middle grade pile of possibilities for middle grade March probably in my next video, and then hopefully that will help my TBR shelf slowly whittle away a bit. If I'm getting rid of a book that I said I haven't read and you think that I would really like it, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll pull it out from this Unhaul stack and give it a try. But I feel pretty confident in the array of books that I have here. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know a book that you have unhauled recently.